Hello, welcome back to Bison Overtime. My name is Malik.
I'm Alex Dusky.
Let's just address the elephant in the room. Football had a terrible weekend. We lost to NDSU 27-17.
Which we easily could have won, and I believe that in my heart because of SDSU's errors. We beat ourselves on this. SDSU's starting linebacker got ejected due to targeting, I think in the third or fourth quarter. SDSU had 8 penalties for a total of 68 yards. We only had 1 for 9 yards, okay? That's basically, that's a whole field goal, okay, at least.
Yep.
And yet we still couldn't win.
That's crazy. But that month, like you said, SDSU had to prepare for us, really showed on Saturday. Like you can see it. On the offensive side, Zeb Nolan played 1 series, then was pulled.
He had 3 snaps, and he only threw 1 incomplete pass. I don't know why, but... So Zeb was warming up with the team. This is before the game. He's with the team getting ready. In the post-game conference on the post-game conference, someone asked, was that the plan? Because if you remember last week, I said how, Coach Entz was always like, yeah, we just feel it out. He's like, that was the plan the whole time.
See,
was that
I told you, I think all that's planned. I think he just said that just to say that. But then there's so many chances you can have before Coach says, okay, next man up.
Right.
He had so many chances, and that's what we saw. They put Cam Miller in, he balled out. What was the stats?
He was 9 for 16, 149 passing yards. He did have 1 interception at the very end of the game. I personally don't blame him because that was when we were down. He was also our leading rusher technically, although he was sacked, which kind of bumps him down below Hunter Luepke, but rushing, he had 52 positive yards. He also scored, I think, 1 touchdown, and this is a clip of his touchdown.
He had 2 touchdowns.
2 touchdowns. He's just an excited guy, and, he's big. He and Zeb are both big football players.
But he can move. He's more elusive. Talk about making the most out of your opportunities. He balled out. Just the energy he gives off and his swag. Super Miller time.
Right.
Miller time. And he's still young.
And this also proves that it's not the quarterback position.
Yeah.
We've been talking about it this whole season. But, Christian Watson, our receiver, had 2 catches for 74 yards. He did his job. But there was a potential game-tying 3rd down that we needed to convert on. He wasn't covered and he dropped it. How do you explain that?
I don't know. That's why I was saying, and then we could talk about the ground too. We're depending on Hunter Luepke a lot.
Right.
Do you think?
Who did have an outstanding game against UND?
Right.
Has not done well at all.
That's why I said you can't just keep running the guy and think he can keep performing at that same the same stats he had then. Plus, maybe Kobe Johnson is still out. Do you think that's the reason why?
My question is, where's Jalen Bussey? I saw him in that clip that we played with Zeb. That was him warming up in pads. Why isn't he playing?
I don't know. Do you think he's still banged up and they don't want to risk it, or did they think
He is a small guy. I will say that. He has small stature, skinny boy. There are a lot of skinny boys on our team, by the way. The kickers, super skinny. Besides the point. But, Hunter had 43 yards, which is half of what he had last week with almost the same amount of carries. So even though he is getting the ball, he's just not moving.
Yep.
But do you think that was his fault, or do you think SDSU's defense was so good?
SDSU's defense. It's the month of preparing. You said one guy got ejected for targeting.
Yes.
That shows how hard they were playing, how hard they wanted it.
It was a dirty game. I will say that.
I bet it was.
They were just tussling, kind of pushing after the whistle, and then with that targeting, I was like.
Yeah. And then we talk about. Throwing, Christian Watson had 2 receptions and 74 yards. Is that the guy you said you dropped easy pass? And then Braylon Henderson got 2 receptions and 33 yards. And another thing with Cam, he throws to many receivers. If it's just Zeb, it'll just be Christian Watson on the stat.
Who never catches them anyway. That's what we've been saying all semesters, that where is the passing game from the NDSU to Bison?
Yep, and I don't know how long it's going to take for Matt Entz to say, okay, Cam Miller, that's our guy now. And if they do that,
in the post-game conference the other day, he was saying how he's excited for Cam. He's a great guy. He has 4 years, well, I guess 3 years left if he takes extra eligibility though. So obviously, super great kid.
Yep, and then I think Kobe Johnson's really more important than we thought it was, because maybe he's the guy to get us more yards. And Hunter Luepke can only do so much. He's not like a speedster, like a back like Jalen Bussey or elusive like Kobe Johnson. He's just a big stumbling guy. He gets the power yards. So maybe that's why he only has 44 yards. And, like, maybe that game was the most he will ever get. Like, maybe that was his best game. Mm-hmm. So you can't keep relying on Hunter Luki to put up numbers like Kobe Johnson or Jalen Bussey.
Looking at our defense just also wasn't that well. We did have a couple of good plays. We had 4 sacks for 20 yards lost and 78 total tackles. Here's a couple of the tackles that we got. I think this was SDSU was going for on third down, and we were able to stop that, which is big, but then our offense couldn't convert. And then this is one of the sacks we got. But our biggest error came late in the game when SDSU's quarterback, Mark Gronowski, there he goes, runs for 55 yards to put them on the 16-yard line, which they then scored a touchdown, extending their lead to 10.
And that's what Matt said. Missed tackles was probably one of the biggest thing was missed tackles. You see James Kazor had 5 solo tackles. He usually has more than that.
Oh, yeah.
Michael Tutsi had 4 solo tackles. Those tackles numbers are just low. And there's more people like Jasir, what's his name? Dom Jones have more tackles. And now you see only 2 people have 5 or less tackles.
Looking ahead, the Bison did make it into the FCS playoffs. We are not one of the top 4, also not one of the last 4. They don't rank the other 8 teams. We are playing the Eastern Washington University Eagles this Saturday at home in the Dome at 2:30. The 2 teams have met 7 times in program history. The last time was in 2019 championship game.
And we got that win.
NDSU won 38-24. Eagles this season are 5-1 overall, 5-1 in the conference on a 5-game winning streak. They haven't scored less than 38 points since their first game of the season, which they lost to Idaho. What do you think is going to happen?
I'm uncertain of this game because I don't know anything about Eastern
Washington. Right, it is hard when we're playing, now out of our conference to try and analyze these. But they're going to be a high-scoring offense. Our defense is going to have to. I think one game they won, I think it was like 63-10 maybe.
And then you see how we bounced back when we lost against Southern Illinois.
Right.
How the next game, how the defense was just electric, and they didn't let anything go. Like they didn't let anything, like, gain yards on them, passes. So hopefully they do that against them because less than 36 points they score.
Less than 38 since their loss to Idaho to start their season.
Yeah, they definitely need to buckle down and really stop them as they think they're going to win that game. Looking
at the playoffs as a whole, SDSU, who's been, I think, the 3rd or 4th team in the nation all season, got bumped up to number 1 after beating us. JMU, the team that we typically play in the championship, has been number 1 all season, won their game on Saturday, and then got bumped to 4th. What do you think's up with that?
I don't know, but all I do know is people are looking at us like we're some kind of, I don't know, like we're down and out. Don't doubt us. Right? I still, like last show, I still believe we're going all the way.
Really?
I don't care. Yes.
So let's just set the scene. SDSU plays at home against Holy Cross. JMU plays at home against VMI. So if we're looking at the bracket, right, SDSU's up here, Sam Houston, I think? No, Jacksonville State, sorry. And then JMU, and then NDSU's down here, okay? So if we win, we play the 2nd seed, Sam Houston State, or, if they lose, we'll play Monmouth State. The winner of that game. And then if we beat that game, we'd play JMU. So in order for us to get to the championship, we'd have to play JMU, who we normally play in the championship.
Exactly.
And then we would likely face SDSU.
Hey, let's drop JMU early. Hey, it's the same as last year. It doesn't matter. But you said SDSU?
SDSU or Jacksonville State are the 2 top seeds on the left side.
I want SDSU to get in there. I want it to get our
payback.
Want a rematch? I want the payback. Yes, who doesn't want the payback in the championship winning? That's just a story. That's just like a fairy tale.
Okay, let's just do quick score predictions. NDSU versus Eastern Washington.
Ooh. Okay, so offense, I think it's going to be low scoring because we still got to fix that. So I'm thinking like 21 or even less. 21 on our part, even less. But Eastern Washington, probably 38.
So you're saying we're going to lose? You just said we're going to win out.
I know,
but anyone else hear that?
Okay. But
it's hard.
It's hard
the
because
thing is that we do have home field advantage, and we know how powerful Bison Nation is.
But our offense is low scoring, and our defense doesn't play well, and they don't score less than 38. So statistically, we lose.
Right. But hey, roll herd. We got this. I think it's going to be close. I think Bison will win. Last second field goal, 24-21.
Okay. When we come back, we'll dive into softball.
Founded in 1985, the Missouri Valley Football Conference has established a tradition of FCS football excellence. Competing at the highest level of NCAA Division I, student athletes at its 10 institutions demonstrate character, passion, and integrity as they grow as a student, an athlete, and a citizen. The Missouri Valley Football Conference, where leaders are shaped and champions are forged.
No kid deserves to go hungry, but try as they might, not every family can afford to put food on the table every day. That's why the Great Plains Food Bank and their partner agencies work every day to bring food to our hungry neighbors. Every dollar donated can provide 4 meals for those in need. Go to greatplainsfoodbank.org and donate today so no kid in North Dakota ever has to go hungry.
All right, welcome back to Bison Overtime. We are now going to dive into the one game that Bison softball played this weekend. So the series was supposed to start on Friday, but the first game was canceled because of that weird possible COVID situation, girls in quarantine, whatever. Second game, we lost. Played on Saturday. Final score was 10-4. What did you see from that game?
Stephanie Sereno, Skylar Paget, Avery Wansong had 1 hit and 1 run. On Sunday, the game was canceled again due to weather conditions, and we were at that game, and that game sucked.
My ankles turned blue. Okay, I left my dorm. It was like, I don't know, 52 when we left.
It was just windy.
Oh, I'll just wear my sweatpants and then get out there. Here, this is our picture.
This is the picture.
It was hailing.
It was hailing.
It was, what was that date? April 18th.
And mind you, it started off just really windy.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden,
little dots of white did. Fat.
They were huge
clumps,
flurries.
Yeah, huge flurries. And then we were out there. We got hit. Felt like rocks hitting our necks. And they were like, "Oh, it's hailing."
Yeah. So it was not fun. They played 2 innings. Score was 3-3. It was going to be a good game.
Yeah, it looked like it was a good game.
They postponed it for 35 minutes, and then they ended up canceling it. We were all shivering in the bin trailer, trying to keep warm. Going back to that Saturday game, though, I did want to have some notes. Iowa State had 6 runs in the second inning. Okay? And then NDSU just couldn't catch up. Our catcher, Avery Bison, had a 2-run homer in the bottom of the 3rd. The last time the Bison scored, bottom of the 3rd, they still had 4 more innings. Does that mean that we were just that bad, or do you think Iowa State was just that good?
Well, like we said last week, Iowa State is in a different conference, and that conference is really good. Even though their record is bad in that conference, it's still Iowa State.
I was talking to my friend from Oklahoma State, who is in the Big 12 with Iowa State. She works with the Cowgirls softball team, said how OSU played Iowa State a couple weeks ago and struggled. Just for this in perspective, Oklahoma State was, I think, the number 7 team in the nation when they played Iowa State and struggled. So that does kind of make the team feel a little bit better about their loss.
Exactly. And I think they should feel good about Sunday's performance because it was 3-3. It was definitely a dogfight. They were going head to head.
I think it was Iowa State came out strong, scored 3 in the top of the 1st, and then we tied in the bottom of the 1st. So pretty high scoring early on. It was, I don't want to say it was funny, okay, but they were just dropping the ball,
That's
sliding.
What I'm saying. But the thing is, I think we would have took that. We're North Dakota. We're used to that. They weren't used to that. They were dropping. I think
it's Iowa. Iowa's still pretty snowy.
Yeah, but they were acting like they never saw snow in their life.
That's true. I did feel bad for those girls. I was wearing like long sleeves jacket, gloves, and they were in their like jerseys.
Just jerseys.
And I'm like, I can
long
tell
sleeve.
that you're shivering.
Yeah.
So the team is now 12-21 overall, 7-5 in the Summit League. This weekend they host Omaha, who is 9-23 overall, 4-8 in the conference. How do you think this weekend's going to go?
I think it'll be a good game because we're coming out of Iowa State. We played high competition. So if we play how we did Sunday, I think it would have been a really good game Sunday. So I think if we play as well as that, we should win.
We're coming back into these double headers. We have 2 games on Saturday, 2 games on Sunday. Do you think that's going to affect the girls? Like, when we played USD, by the 4th game, we'll get exhausted?
Yeah.
You think that's going to happen again?
I think it's going to happen because it happens for baseball too. I think that's just is what it is. Like, there's nothing there's nowhere around that. So that's what I think. How do you think they're going to do?
I think we're going to lose the first game and then win out. I don't really. They could potentially get a 4-game sweep anytime. We're not the best softball analysts to really tell how talented this team is.
Yeah.
But that's just so rare. Like when the baseball team swept Western Illinois a couple weeks ago, that's so rare. And I think just because, they didn't play Friday, they got crushed on Saturday, got frozen on Sunday, they need to just kind of take a reset, analyze how Omaha's going to play and then go from there. Looking at the rest of the season, I think there's a couple more weekend series, I think 2 or 3. Do you think we're going to win out over mostly? I'm not saying go undefeated, but how do you think the rest of the season's going to shape up? I
don't know. We go either pretty, not even pretty good, decent, and then we go bad.
Right.
So it's a huge question mark because soccer's like that.
All of our sports are like that. It seems like all of our women's sports. I'm being serious. Women's basketball would win them.
Track and field.
Okay, we have track and field. Track and field solid. We'll talk about that more later. All right, when we come back, we'll be diving into Bison baseball. Stay with us.
The Technology Learning and Media Center, located in the Quinton Burdick Building, room 150C, provides a variety of services to assist you with all of your technology-related coursework and personal learning goals. The TLMC offers one-on-one tutoring and assistance in topics ranging from basic computer skills to advanced topics such as design, Adobe products, and multimedia software. A resource library that includes books on the latest software releases, online resources including a lynda.com kiosk that provide free access to high-quality video tutorials on hundreds of topics. Free workshops on a variety of topics taught each semester by our student staff. Software and hardware for audio and video capture, conversion, and editing, plus personal assistance on your multimedia projects. Multiple scanners are available at the TLMC, including one large format scanner and a slide and film scanner. The Wacom tablet provides ultimate control in your favorite graphics and illustration software and can help you to create stunning digital artwork. Large format poster printing is also done at the TLMC. Our walk-in media resources include the Whisper Room sound booth for recording professional quality voiceovers and audio. The TLMC Media Studio is available by reservation and provides equipment and space for video recording, audio recording, studio photography, screen capture, and a green screen for special effects. If you have any questions on these services, be sure to visit the TLMC website, and while you're there you can check out a variety of learning and media resources, or just stop by the next time you're in the Quinton Burdick building and check out what we have to offer.
Thank you for not going anywhere. Now we're going to move on to baseball. They played Oral Roberts.
Right.
They could have split the weekend, but the last game was also canceled due to weather conditions.
Correct.
So they only won 1 game out of the 3.
The first game, we lost 8-6. It was sad. Okay, I was there. I was in the press box. A baseball hit the press box, scared us all to death.
We knew it was going to be a tough weekend.
Right, okay, we did. And I think the radio guy was like, ORU is still riding the high of going into the basketball tournament, just that university. We were up 5-1 to start the 6th inning, For context, there's 9 innings in baseball. ORU then scored 2 runs on their own. And then I am 95% sure we walked in the next 5 runs. Now, I can't find that written down anywhere because no one from the university is going to write, yeah, the NDSU Bison walked in 5 runs, because that's embarrassing. But I'm pretty sure that's what happened. We put in 3 pitchers. So our starting pitcher, Cade Feeney, who was pitcher of the week, did great. I don't know why we pulled him. I know you typically put in, your start and your relief. But then we switched it to this guy, couldn't get it, and then the next guy walked in those 5 runs.
Well, okay. The last game, what was that? Western Illinois, they did play several pitchers. So maybe that's just what they do
yeah.
anyways.
That was the first NDSU baseball game I had been to. Typically, I just ever. But I had just known about starting and then relief, not the third guy.
Yeah,
so.
they switch a lot.
Second game we won 14-11. What name stood out to you for that game?
Jake Malik and Callan Schwab had 2 hits and 3 runs, which is good. And then Bennett Hostetler and Hunter Cope had 2 hits and 2 runs.
Yeah, here are key players from this weekend. Jake Malik as a whole got 5 hits, 2 RBI, 3 runs, and then Caleb had 4 hits, 3 RBI, 4 runs, and then their batting averages for the season for Malik is a 348 and Schwab is a 273. Jake Malik is having a great season. We've talked about him earlier throughout the semester, but you just named off a lot of new names. We've seen Bennett and Jake, but it just shows how much of a team effort this win was.
Yeah, Hunter Cope is definitely getting up in the stats. He's definitely working hard. You can see that. And Tucker Road also. So be sure to look out for them next. Third
game, we lost 18-2. What? 18-2? After winning 14-11? How do you let up 18 runs?
I don't know. You never know what's going on with these teams too. Like, we just from the outside looking in. Right. You don't know who's banged up, because I heard like there's arm injuries, there's some arm and leg injuries, so you don't really know what's going on behind closed doors.
Or you got 5 runs in 2 innings and we didn't get any.
So you have no sympathy for baseball, do you?
Well, I'm just saying, that's just so lopsided. That'd be like the Bison scoring 50 points one week and then getting a field goal the next week.
Okay, yeah.
Just like to put that in perspective of other sports. But I think the second and third game was a doubleheader, and they were playing Saturday night. And I think it was getting dark. That was when the temperature started to drop as the cold front moved in. So it is possible that they were just like getting cold, and your muscles don't work as well when you're cold.
That is true. But I don't even want to say the stats for that last game, because we only had 2 runs. But they are now 23-10 overall.
Right.
And 12.
Still not bad.
So yeah, still not bad. And 12-7 in the conference. So they're still indecent. And their next game is against number 4 in the Summer League Conference, SDSU.
So
who we just lost to. So they gotta win that.
Question of the year. Do you think the baseball is going to redeem it for football?
They need to. They need to. Well, we're number 2 now, right?
Right.
We're number 2.
I think behind ORU.
Yeah, ORU. So in the number 4, we should beat them.
Right. SDSU is 9-19 overall, 4-8 in the conference.
Exactly.
But they also haven't played as many games. Just like looking at that, they've played less games. We have a doubleheader on Friday starting at noon, which I kind of thought was weird. Typically you have classes Fridays at noon. Then they have 1 game on Saturday, 1 game on Sunday. Do you think that'll help with their stamina starting with the 2 games?
In the beginning, earlier, yeah, it definitely will. But then they almost got swept by Western Illinois.
That's true.
And we swept them. So that's another thing you can put in, we could beat them.
I think they're going to at least split the weekend. No more than 3 wins, no less than 2. Okay, that's my prediction. What about you?
Kind of hard on baseball. I think if
it's just hard to get all 4 wins.
All 4?
Yes. For any team.
3. I'm going. We win 3. They win 1.
Okay, I'll accept that.
So when we come back, we'll get into track and field.
There are so many great things to experience at NDSU. It's hard to pick one, but my favorite is
the people. They make it such a warm place.
The Bison aren't just across the country, they're across the globe.
It's the perfect distance from home. The faculty are our biggest cheerleaders. Hands-on research experience. The affordable tuition.
All the opportunities to stay active on campus.
Real-world learning experiences.
Once I got on campus, it felt like home.
The NDSU bookstore has everything you need to show off your Bison pride. The bookstore can have you sporting green and gold wherever you go. It offers many different brands, sizes, styles, and selection so that you find exactly what you're looking for. Shop the NDSU bookstore and show your spirit today.
No kid deserves to go hungry, but try as they might, not every family can afford to put food on the table every day. That's why the Great Plains Food Bank and their partner agencies work every day to bring food to our hungry neighbors. Every dollar donated can provide 4 meals for those in need. Go to GreatPlainsFoodBank.org and donate today so no kid in North Dakota ever has to go hungry.
There are so many great things to experience at NDSU. It's hard to pick one, but my favorite is
The people, they make it such a warm place.
The Bison aren't just across the country, they're across the globe.
It's the perfect distance from home. The faculty are our biggest cheerleaders. Hands-on research experience. The affordable tuition.
All the opportunities to stay active on campus.
Real-world learning experiences.
Once I got on campus, it felt like home.
All right, welcome back to the final segment of Bison Overtime for the day, talking about track and field. So they were supposed to play at MSUM last week at the Dragon Twilight. Remember, I really liked the name. Sunday, but that was canceled due to the snow. So we don't have anything to recap, but we just kind of wanted to talk about the season as a whole because we've talked a lot about track and field. So what are some standout things to you from this season?
So the men's team is 4th in the summer league, which is not bad for outdoor.
Right.
Which is not bad. And then your women's is 5th in the league, which are not bad also.
Looking nationally, though, the women's team is ranked 16th in the nation, and we're the only Summit League team ranked. So how are we ranked nationally, but not, not
high
higher
in the Summit League?
And then looking at the men's aren't ranked in the top 25, but do you know who is?
Who? Alex?
USD.
Wait, what?
USD is ranked in the top 25 in the nation.
And they're not ranked higher than us, are they?
I don't think so. So I'm wondering if there's a ranking system that we are not comprehending.
But the men's are top 5 rankings in 200, 400, 800, and 1500 meters, which is really good. What are some for girls?
The women's team, talking about Keely Moten, I think she's still 2nd in the nation for shot put, and then Jenny Bargar-Petrash, who I just realized is in one of my classes. Fun fact.
Interview coming soon.
Yeah, maybe. She, I think, is in the top. She was the one who's behind that Olympian still, Looking up ahead, they'll travel to Des Moines, Iowa this weekend. It's a Friday, Saturday meet to participate in the Drake Relays. How do you think that's going to go for them?
I think the girls are going to do well. Keely Moten's going to do well because she always does. And for the boys, our sprints are really good.
And our medleys for both women's and men's, we've talked about that. At the Tennessee Relays, I think both men's and women's track and field teams swept in the distance and the medley relays.
Our sprints and also our long jump. We don't talk about our jumps a lot. We are really good in our jumps. We're top 5 in long, triple, and we don't have to mention the shot put discus.
Right, yes.
We are 1st and 2nd for discus, shot put, and hammer throw. Because you got Alex Talley.
Right, your guy.
My
and
guy.
Keely Moten, too.
Otterdahl. They're just ballers up there. But yeah, I think the men should do really well, especially in the field aspect. But sprints, we should do really well also.
Something that I think is kind of interesting is, how many track and field athletes are actually there? Because we only talk about the guys who get, the top 5. But there's so many more events that we haven't even probably talked about.
Yep, like pole vault and all that other stuff.
Obviously, that means we're probably not the best at those. But, this is just a huge team. Looking ahead past this weekend, we only have 2 more meets before the Summit League Championship. What are your predictions for how we'll do in the Summit League, knowing that we're not the top teams in the conference?
Summit League Championship?
Yes.
I know my men's are going to ball out. I don't know about your girls, but I know Alex is going to ball out because he did in the indoor, and I'll go
Well,
him.
this is just Summit League, and then they'll have the National Outdoor Championships,
Yeah,
too.
Summit League. Alex, I take him, and I'll take Adrian. He's a 400 runner. He's top at NDSU. I'll take him for the 400.
Okay, I bet,
Adrian Harris.
with our throwers, with Akili and then Jenny, I think they're going to do pretty solid. Yeah.
Okay.
All right, thank you so much for tuning in to Bison Overtime today. I'm Alex Dusky.
I'm Malik Mitchell.
Have a great week. Make sure to not miss the playoffs game this Saturday. I think it's on ESPN3. All right, have a great weekend. Roll Herd.